about doing a procedure today and then remembered I've actually got 3 videos of procedures that I've actually not even finished. So like, right, get them done first. So today the plan is to try and bang them out. So let's have a quick look at my calendar. Boom, boom, boom. And then at least I'll see what dates I did everything. So right, so it looks like in middle of July I did my Botox. And then 3 weeks later I did a wee top up. Just did my forehead. On the 15th of August, I did some hyaluron, just did the back technique. And then on the 13th of September, I did filler. And so that was a month ago. So let's have a look at my OneDrive. Just I've got all the pictures I'm going to put on the video just to jog my memory to speed it up a wee bit. So, I didn't even get the bottle out of the fridge. So I did some the Botox. I just got a 100ml bottle. The one in the fridge I got a 200 because I thought the 100ml one was going to be like way too much. But it turns out I actually used about 78. And then in the top up I just kind of used the rest. Plus, even though I'd worked it all out to 78, I didn't actually get all 78 because, you know, some needles would have probably had a bit left in it, or they did, you know, while trying to do it, a bit oozed out or something. So it's a bit ish. So then the wee bit left, I just topped up my forehead 3 weeks later. So let's have a look at the crazy, first the fill-in, because that brand of Botox, it comes with a bottle of saline, but it's not pre-mixed or anything. So this first image is how to reconstitute it to make 2.5 mils, which is what you're meant to do. And I used the insulin needles. I got the smallest one, the 0.3 mil, because the smallest one has the largest writing on it, so my beady little eyes could see it. And so that image shows you exactly the markings on that needle, how many units is that marking, because you have to remember this is the insulin needle, so the units don't match up with the lines on the needle, so you have to work it out. But I didn't do that. I decided to reconstitute it a wee bit smaller. I mean, not off my own back, other people, DIYers, do it as well. So instead I used this calculation. And this table shows you how to reconstitute it to 2 mils rather than the 2.5 mils. Because if you're a aesthetic professional, obviously you want the 2.5 mils because you want more product, more bang for your buck. But I wanted it slightly more concentrated because I wanted to cut down as much as possible on spread, because I mean, obviously it's my first time doing it. My placement may not have been exact, and I just wanted to make my life a wee bit easier. So on this table shows you how many units of Botox is lined on the syringe, and bear in mind that this table is specific to the 0.3 mil insulin syringe, so the smallest one. Talking about those syringes, actually, I got a box, not from Amazon, because weirdly Amazon didn't have many, just from a local supplier in the UK, you know, sells needles and all that kind of stuff. And I just got like a box for 100. It's quite cheap actually, but I did regret that purchase. And actually next time I get it, I will get a more expensive needle, because once I've filled them all up, I actually will struggle pushing them out. And that's because I found out later, like when I was trying to figure out why that was the case, because if you kind of go up and down with a needle too much, there's kind of like a lubricant on that rubber seal and it can kind of wear off. So they actually became really difficult to push out, and it completely stressed me out during the procedure. So I regret doing that. So get decent insulin needles. Anyway, what's next? Oh yeah, so like I took a picture and a wee video of the needles, because obviously when you go to like professional, they'll just have the one needle and use it because, you know, it's cheaper. They don't want to waste loads of needles. But the more a needle goes into your skin as well, the more blunt it becomes, because these are meant to be single-use needles. You're not meant to, you know, have multiple injection points. Plus, because I wear reading glasses and I was quite stressed, I didn't want to have, you know, one mega needle and be like, okay, 2 there, 4 there, 3 there, and be kind of stressed out. So I laid them all out, pre-filled them all. And let's have a quick look at the image. I even put stickers on this so that I wouldn't get confused. So it looks like I've only got 2 1s, a whole load of 2s, a couple of 3s, a couple of 4s, and then 2 6s. So yeah, at least I laid them all out. And even though it's a massive, like, immoral, horrible waste of plastic, I was just really stressed. I know that I'm not gonna, I mean, I might do it like that again the second time I do Botox, but then I'll aim to actually just get a decent needle and just kind of, you know, I'll be able to judge it better. So, oh yeah, so I made a crazy, like, kind of fact sheet, again, because while I was working, I wanted everything in one place, so I wouldn't forget a step, or I wouldn't be like, oh, how'd you do this again? And go and look upstairs on my computer. So on this crazy fact sheet, I just downloaded a picture of a man, well, you know, like a face template where you get, where I think where people are like practicing makeup or whatever. So I just got like an empty face, and then I made notes below it. This is kind of when I was all working out, showing you how many, so that I knew how many needles that I did have to fill up, you know, like I had to do 2 6s, 5 4s, and then the number on the far side is like how many total. So obviously 4 units of 5 is 20 units total, and so I kind of worked it all out. The forehead I was a bit iffy about at the beginning, so I wasn't really too sure how many I was going to do, or, you know, I was just going to do that bit last and then see how it kind of plays out. So if you look at the top of the image, the second image down, that was the picture for the average forehead. So this is kind of, and bear in mind as well, these are like guys' ones that I've looked up, not girls' ones. And so guys tend to as well need a bit more, the muscles tend to be a bit stronger, so you need a bit more kind of toxin in there. So that was the kind of laid out plan for the average one. So that's my vague thing of what I was going to go for. And then that top image, that shows you the strong, but that's because there was different ones of, you know, your glabella, this little bit, like, and because mine was like super, like, you know, big giant creases in the middle, and I was like, oh, so I needed to kind of do that. And then so I just did 4 on the glabella, and then sit on this kind of little bit at the side. I just did like 6, 4 and 2. The image, the third image down, was what I wanted to do around the eye. And that little image in there of the lovely Simon Cowell shows you that's what happens with over treatment. So if you over treat right here, you end up with a ledge, and that's what it's the same. That's what Simon Cowell has. So because this is all can't move, you know, okay, it's kind of, so everything else is compensating. It all kind of like just stops here. So I made sure that I, you know, always wanted to do it, especially my first time, is the minimal amount I had to, because I didn't want to go in and let balls to the wall, do it too much, because trying to undo it, I mean, it is only Botox, give it a few months, it will go back to normal. But I mean, I was just like, I'd rather do it a little, and then in time be like, oh, okay, that bit worked well, or oh, it was a bit rubbish, you know, I need to do more. The very bottom image was just showing you that when you are injecting that bit, you know, and press underneath, and that's helps stop spread as well. So when you're injecting it, you know, the product is going to a more specific area and not spreading around. So what have we got up the top? Oh yeah, so the little arrow just to the left of the average forehead where it's saying angry face to find this muscle, and that's, if you kind of go "Arr," you'll see that this bit's kind of dead, there's no move, it's just, it remains flat. But then this little bit here, it does kind of pop up, and that's the bit you want to inject. This bit here, above your brow, there's nothing there, you don't need to inject that. And so that's where, when you do the angry face, you go like, and then that first bit, that's where the first injection goes. And then the other bit will kind of go to the side, and then one in the middle. And so that was the 2, 4, 6. And on the far left of the crazy image, that just shows you the 2, 4, 6s. Now you don't all, because lots of the videos and stuff, and even the classes I took part in, were all just like injecting like straight down. Was all the kind of medical professionals that I watched, they didn't do that. I mean, obviously some areas like that one, you know, straight in, job's good in. But all the other areas, they weren't like stabbing into the skull. They were doing it angled, they were only getting inserted deep. So for, even though the lines are a bit mad, because this fact sheet was only for me, so it doesn't matter how mad it is, I understand the chaos of it. So the very top image is pointing to the 6. And that, you know, showing you that it's angled and it's all the way in. And then the 4, again, is angled, but it's kind of halfway in. And then on the very bottom one, which was the 2 at the side, that just goes a third of the way in. So that was just reminding me that, you know, all those 3 points aren't going to be injected the exact same. They're all very specific to the area. Because obviously when you, where's the zombie picture I've got? So this is the lovely zombie picture that was being put over as well. So you can see that on the left side of the zombie, there's nothing there. So it's just showing you, but because everything overlaps as well, you've got the levator that's kind of going on top of the Proceris, which you kind of want to inject. And then so I was careful when I was doing my glabella, making sure that I'm not kind of, because a lot of the muscles are sat on top of each other, and so you need to be careful what you're injecting. It isn't all like clean, so you need to be very careful. So I was like wary of that bit, making sure I was injecting here and I wasn't actually injecting the bit sat on top. The other actually bit is, I'll show you later, is the bit down the bottom, the chin, because when you inject that, it does have a muscle sat on top of it, so you need to be careful that you're staying in this area, because otherwise you're injecting, if you go a bit too across, you're not actually injecting the chin bit that you want to do, you're actually injecting the bit that's kind of moving your lip. So I was like totally paranoid about making sure I was injecting the correct place. I mean, as much as my limited DIY knowledge takes me, but I mean, just like, you want to try and make sure you're doing it right. So actually, get this, there's a wee chin picture, just showing you the kind of the safety zone, how to measure it, to make sure you stay in that kind of wee window. This brow lifting I was gonna do, because my eyes are a wee bit shaggy, but I ended up not doing it in the end, because if you just kind of inject, where's the picture? I think there was 2 dots. Yeah, so this picture shows you exactly what 2 dots. So the black dot was 2.5 units, that I could, and then the other one was just 1.25 unit, and that's enough to kind of lift your brow a wee bit. But I mean, I didn't want to do it as well, so I was a wee bit scared in case it was kind of a bit too Spock-like, because it's a very kind of girl move to do as well, because girls tend to have like larger arches. Giggity. What else have we got? Oh yeah, so this is the forehead bit. This is like the safety zone, because as well, when you do your angry face, you'll see that here has creases. There's almost like 2 triangles on the side, where it just stays flat, so there's nothing there. I mean, no harm in injecting that bit, it doesn't, not going to do anything good, there's no muscles there. And then there's a wee kind of semicircle cut off at the top as well. It isn't shown in the safety zone, but again, this little bit, when you do your wrinkly face, you'll see on the zombie picture, those 2 frontalises that are kind of swish over your brows, there's a gap in the middle, because there's no muscle. So again, no harm in injecting it, but it's just injecting into like fat and skin, so it'll just sit there and then dissolve away. But yeah, so that safety zone, you see that the 2 centimetre above your brow. And I think, oh yeah, because when I did the video, I'll do a little bit down the bottom, but I was a complete numpty. You'll see that I set it all up, and I was doing the wall injections, but leaning forward, so you couldn't even see what I was doing. But still, I mean, I'm due to do it again. But actually, this is the longest strength Botox I've had, because we're at about kind of the 3-month mark, and it's still going strong. I mean, I'm starting to get a bit of the movement back, but usually by like 2.5 months, my body, 2 months, 2.5 months, my body just eats through Botox, and it kind of doesn't last very long, because this is the longest lasting one I've had. I mean, it could be the brand of Botox, it could be how much I used, maybe when I've went to do it before, because obviously I did like my entire face. I mean, right, so back to crazy fact sheet. So yep, so I did that little bit there. My bunny lines, actually wasn't too bothered about it, but I mean, I was like, well, it's only like a couple of units, and I'll just do it as practice. So like if you do that, you get those kind of big creases. And so I just did 2 and 2. I did have a wee image of the bunny line thing as well, showing you like the safety zone to like inject in there. But you can see it once you crinkle, you can see there's the 2 and 2. Or some people like their nose downturns a little bit, and you can do 2 units right up there, but it's meant to be completely horrible. Look when you kind of pluck out a nose hair or something, that insane, weird, eye-watering pain, it's like that. So I mean, if you really need to do it and you're bigger balls than me, do it. But I was like, yeah, not for me, thank you. The eyes, oh yeah, so that be picture just showing you that, the needle isn't going right in, it's just kind of going in a wee bit. And the as you get older as well, like some people can have kind of, gives you a bit of a resting bitch face, you know, where you're kind of, it turns down a wee bit. So you can see that the bottom bits on the template, the threes, was just you go 1 centimetre across, 1 centimetre down, up, 3, 3, just stab in there. The twos down the bottom is for that orange peel chin. And I can't do it now, but I could before, if you like scrunch up your chin, it kind of gets all those dots, kind of looks like orange peel. Again, 2 and 2, but just be very careful looking at the other image that I was paranoid to make sure that I was actually doing that and not getting the muscle that kind of sat on top of it. And then I think that is it for the Botox thing. I didn't do anything else because I wasn't too worried about the crinkles, because I think some men can get it, but mostly it's a girl thing where you get all those kind of lines. Almost looks like smoker's lip thing, but I didn't bother doing. But here's the image for it anyway, showing you the 2B safety zones. It just are on top, and then there's a wee bit down the bottom, but I didn't do that. If you have like a gummy smile, which I didn't know when I was looking at all the kind of the plans and stuff, you can actually inject there as well. So 1 1/4 units of Botox just goes in there, and then like you see on this lady, I'm sure there's a picture. Oh yeah, so that picture shows you the kind of before and after. And all it does is kind of weaken that muscle a bit, so that if you do have a gummy smile, it stops your top lip moving up so high. So that the picture on the left, A, is her normal smile, and then B is her after the Botox. So yeah, quite cool. I don't even know why I downloaded all that, so I don't have it. I was just downloading like the plans and stuff, and it's just when you're researching, you kind of having a wee look around. Oh, and this is the safety kind of plan for the crow's feet area, showing you kind of what bits you can do, where's the kind of safety zone, which are the kind of like extended safety zone, which just means it's safe in that bit, but you know, just be careful and very specific, because you know there are some issues. But in the kind of darker grey bits, jobs are good. And then that was it, I think. Yep, so with the tox, so let's go back to my calendar. So July. So yeah, 12th of July is when I did that. I did 78 units. And then it looks like 3 weeks later, I did the Botox top up. But for the top up, I only did the forehead because everything else was kind of okay. But actually it's weird, this one, it took like about 3 weeks before it started kicking in. But again, I was just like, at first I wasn't going to do any top up. I was like, I want to leave it au naturel to like really see, let it kind of settle in, see how it's all going. But actually, because I had a wee bit left, and I thought I didn't want to kind of waste it. I mean, I'd put it in the fridge, it was fine. You can put it in the freezer for longer, but I just kept it in the fridge because I knew I was going to probably maybe kind of use it. And then I just, because my forehead could move quite a lot still, so I kind of just did wee bits kind of around. And yeah, so the one in the fridge, I got the 200ml one, and then so hopefully that'll be lost a bit longer. Yep, so that was all it. Yeah, so I just try to go around my mind, because it's only because I'm going to try, so the next 2 videos I'm going to do the Hyaluron, the bat one, and the filler one. So yep, so the Botox all went really well. Only thing for next time is, I mean, I've still got some of those crap syringes, but I'll finish through them. But then at least now I know that potentially be careful. And because I'm like pre-filling it as well, I am kind of going up and down on the thing. I was paranoid about air bubbles and stuff as well. And I made sure to let, you know, aspirate everywhere. So at least especially up here, make sure, so if you put it in and then pull it out a little bit, you know, if any blood comes out into the needle, you'll know that you're inside a vein. But I wasn't, but we both talking stuff, that's not too much of a worry. It's filler that's going to get you, because if you inject filler into a vein, it's like putting a cork inside it, and you'll get necrotic flesh and all sorts. So yeah, I mean, that's where you need to be careful. But Botox just liquid. And then, so probably the next month, 2 months, I'll probably do my Botox again. But at least this time I'll do a proper video, so at least you can actually see it. And yeah, I was actually really pleased, because I mean, it's just so insanely expensive. I mean, it's like, you know, nearly 300 quid to just do the top area is what I'd kind of normally do. Was this time at least, you know, got my chin, you know, my nose wasn't too actually that bothered about it, but you know, at least here I got like the strength that I needed, and at least I just felt like more control of it. So yeah, quite good. So that was the sort of Botox video, because obviously I couldn't really show you me doing it because the video, you know, show you mostly you just see the top of my head. It's nah, mine so professional. Right, so now I'm gonna do, I'll stop it and then quickly do the back video, because I want to try and do these 3 videos, because obviously I've recorded the procedure, but I just want to kind of do the little talky bit and then at least get them edited, get them on, and then if I've got time later today, right, do that I've got. Yeah, because what the other thing, well, I'll show it in my back video because that's kind of more in that area anyway. But anyway, so yeah, that was the Botox video, and arrivederci!